Welcome, everyone. It's Peter du Toit, your host, and we have SoccerBeat. And we've got a special guest today on SoccerBeat with myself, Cheese, and Mike Morton. It's top keeper. His nickname's Popeye, Darren Keet. Welcome, Darren.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here. It's an expanding platform to be on with you guys, so happy to join you for the evening.
Fantastic. And you're here for not only for your good looks and your good goalkeeping, you're here for a special occasion. We've got Ronwen Williams, and we're all proud of him in South Africa. He's up there for the goalkeeping Ballon d'Or, the Yachine award. And those of you who don't know, Yachine was a top keeper, the best in the world at one stage, I think in the 50s and 60s. Him and Gordon Banks, he played for Russia. And really what we're going to talk about here is who is the best goalkeeper between Darren as well, but in particular between Khune and Williams. And then Darren will give his own personal experience with both players, and both Cheese and Mike have played against them and with them. So that's also come into it. But before we get on to that, let's just talk about Bafana versus Uganda. Goalkeeping error really cost us the game. Your comments, Darren?
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate. I mean, obviously...
A little bit unfortunate.
For him and for South Africa. Obviously, you always wait for your chance to play. You wait for your time to shine, pretty much. Uganda's not an easy game. I think we knew that. But international football at the moment is not easy. It doesn't matter who you're playing against. I mean, the levels have increased so much over the years. And to make an error like that when you're expecting yourself to actually to dominate and to show yourself to the coaches and to the country what you're capable of, it is tough for the team, and I think it will be tough for Veli on a personal level. But at the end of the day, you can't blame him, because he hasn't played a game pretty much since May, I think it has. Towards the end of the season, he wasn't playing much either. So that's four months without a game. I mean, when we step into a friendly during pre-season, I feel lost. When you play the first game of the season, you kind of feel lost. So for it to happen at an international game, in a qualification game, it's a bit unfortunate. But, we have to back the team.
Actually, Darren, you're blaming the coach for choosing him. But to be fair, that's a shot from 40 meters. Straight at his face. He didn't have to put his hands. He could have headed it away.
No,
that was right.
I'm not blaming.
I would agree with you if he dropped the cross.
Yeah.
If he got his timing wrong. But that was 40 yards straight at him.
Yeah.
I think that's a Sunday league keeper would have saved it. And I'm not, he's a wonderful guy and he's a goalkeeper, and it's really unfortunate. But and I know you're protecting the goalkeeper as part of the
goalkeeper's union is very strong, Peter. You can never break these guys.
All right, let me change it then. Sage Stephens. Do you think he should be in the squad? He's
100%. Sage has improved in leaps and bounds over the last few years. I think Stellenbosch has done him a world of good in terms of playing time and raising his stature as a goalkeeper. I think he should be there. He deserves to be there, and I don't see any reason why he shouldn't be there.
I agree with you personally. Before I get to Mike and Cheese, so really what you're saying, and I want to ask Mike and Cheese if you agree with this, is he should have chosen his goalkeepers from the teams that were in the MTN 8.
100%.
Pretty much, yes, I think so. In terms of playing time, and also you look at the teams and where they actually ended last season. Those are your keepers you want. You want your top 4, your top 6 teams to pretty much be in the national team.
So there you are. You got Bruce. As much as we rate you, all 3 and myself say this is your fault. Tell me something.
It was strange, Peter. It just was strange because he came out in all the press conferences saying how disappointed, how he was worried about match freshness and guys actually playing games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then he didn't select a keeper that was actually playing games. It's almost like he contradicted himself. He said, none of my players are sharp because no one's played football, but then I choose a keeper that's hasn't been playing. So it didn't make sense to me.
Has it been maybe a case of a favor to say he's always been in the backing order, and now you're getting a keeper that's coming in like a China that's done well now with the MTN, and he's probably maybe giving him a favor to say, look, you've always been just behind Ronwen and the other keeper, so let me give him the chance instead of looking at the game time, which was very key in the game.
Correct. So without a doubt, outfield players you can throw them in, but goalkeepers obviously you need match practice. Tell me, Darren, what's your story? Have you retired? Because you don't look in the mix at all.
No, never been retired. As long as I can step foot onto the pitch, as long as the club allows me to, I'm always available for the national team. So never will retire as long as I'm ready to perform and as long as I'm capable of performing at the high level.
So your message to Hugo Bruce out there, listen, I'm playing for a team that's going to be challenging for top 4 position, certainly, or top 5, definitely. You first choice keeper there. You're throwing your name in that, saying, listen, come and have a look at me. Get me in that squad.
Yeah, look, I lost to Pirates didn't help my cause, but that's football. So you come out, you try to perform the best you can. Sometimes you get beaten on the day. We got beaten, but I think that doesn't take away from what I'm capable of and from what I can give to the national team. I've said this many times before. I do have a lot of experience of being with the national team, of playing a few games, and also having a pretty long career in terms of playing. I've played over 500 games already, or close to 500. But I've got a lot of experience, which I feel I can offer to the national team also. But that decision's never up to me. At the end of the day, that belongs to the coach and the staff.
Who should play in the next game? I'll go through each one of you. Darren, who should play in the next game?
It's a difficult one because
not for me.
I know where you're going, but I know Gossi on a personal level. I know what he's capable of, but I also know that at the moment, Chaine has been the best goalkeeper in the last few games, or actually towards the end of last season. He's also, like I said, he's grown a lot. I would back myself probably for Chaine to get the start because he's been performing so well. I mean, he's had a hell of a game against us in the first leg of the MTN 8. He got man of the match, and that's kind of the performances you want from your keeper when it comes to national team.
Mike?
Yeah, no doubt. I'd start Sipho in a heartbeat. He should have started the first game, in my opinion. Yeah, that's my stance on it.
The chain man, like Darren has said, he ended the season well. We started off well with the MTN. So why not, because I've seen he's improved a lot, looking at him now this season. I see Darren Keet, I'm seeing him holding the ball and starting build-up play. I'm like, oh, okay, something new. So, yeah, I think coach should have went for that, And I take my words back. No more you got boss, you got bronze.
my last one on who should play, I think we should remember that when you play in Africa, you play teams that are physically a lot. The way they play is a different game to what we have in the PSL. Challenges on the goalkeeper and so on and so forth. I think our goalkeepers are going to have to be mentally very, very strong. South Sudan and so on. But anyway, let's move on to what we really want to talk about. Ronwen Williams, I mean, an incredible AFCON. Really superb AFCON, great servant to the game so far. This debate's opened up on social media. Who's the better goalkeeper? And obviously, we're not talking about today because Itu's at the end of his career. But if you look at their stats, Khune is 37 now. He's played 286 games for Kaizer Chiefs, 91 Bafana caps, 3 Olympic games. He's been in the game for 20 years. Ronwen, 32, so he's not much younger. 278 games for SuperSport, 48 games for Sundowns. These figures could be slightly wrong. They're from the internet and so on. 26 league games. So he's played more games than Itu, but obviously Itu's had a few injury problems. 43 Bafana games, won a bronze medal, 14 seasons versus 20. So these are 2 top-class keepers, and it's a little unfair. All of us know comparisons are not really fair, but this is something that's been debated in the country right now. Who is the better goalkeeper? Itu? Or who's done better for South Africa and South African football over their period of time? Itu or Ronwen? And all of you have played either against, and some of you played against and with him. So let's leave Darren till the end. Let's get you Cheese first, because you played with Itu in his early days, against Itu and with him in his early days. So tell the fans out there what's Itu really like and Ronwen. Give us inside information. What makes them tick?
Okay, on a personal level, I've worked with Itu in the under-23s. A very special keeper, a very competitive keeper, a very energetic keeper. Can play. He's got good distribution. I think he's done well in his career for Chiefs and for the national team. We used to call him Mzansi's number 1. I don't think we called him that for no reason. And I also know that Rownen was more like an understudy with Khune to understand that, okay, when I get my chance, he was learning the ropes from Itu, So if we're comparing the two, it's different generations. But because they're the 2 best keepers that we've had in the country thus far, I'll go with Itu because on a personal level, during trainings, when the late Senzo was still alive, he's a keeper that at the national team, you come up against players that you're going to meet up in the league. So what he would do is he would call up the guys after the session, take penalties, not knowing that he's actually studying that I might meet you in a cup match, anything. So I know you already, So I used to tell him that I'm like, Stop that, because at the end of the day, I might change when I play you against, when you're playing a Chiefs. I might change the way I kick my penalty. But I could see that his mentality was already trying to understand and study the players. With Ronwen, I've seen Ronwen improve. At Supersport, he was more of a keeper that obviously Kevin Hunt is a different style of play, hit the long one and whatnot. But when we got to Sundowns, I started to see a different Ronwen that can still build up, and still make those great saves. And what I've seen is that he's improved in terms of saving penalties. Itu was like number one because he took that from Brian Baloyi Spider, So if I can compare the two, I'll put them at a 50-50, but I'll just say the generations are a little bit different, Yeah, I'll take it as that, But I'll go for Itu because I've played with him and I know what type of a keeper he is, very hardworking person, very energetic, talking to the players, he's very vibrant. He can also play. He was a striker before, if people don't know. Itu can score goals. He can play inside as well, So, yeah.
If you had to use one word to describe Itu as a person, what would that word be? One word.
Star.
All right, got it. Mark, you played against both and you played with Ronwen.
Yeah. The best goalkeepers I played with in my career would be this man in this conversation right now, Darren Keet and Ronwen Williams. Yeah, Ronwen, he's probably personally responsible for a lot of the trophies I won in my career. Won many penalty shootouts in the road to trophies that I've won. So I owe Ronnie a lot. If you have to ask me the question right now, I still say Khune is number one for me, just in terms of his career. But the one thing that I know is that Ronwen's only 32. He looks after himself really well. Great professional. He's already played 40 more games than Khune in the PSL, which is crazy. And the way Ronnie's going, he could probably play another 4 or 5 years. Another 100 games on top of that, then it's a whole different conversation. So if you have to ask me right now, I say Khune is the one. But I think Ronwen's starting to really mount that challenge. And I think if we have this discussion again in 2-3 years, Ronnie might come out on top.
Yeah. So before I get to Darren, interesting question I'd like to ask you. First of all, Mike, you mentioned some facts to me that I don't know if you want to mention to the viewers out there about the AFCON facts that have you got them, Andy?
Yeah, I've got a couple of them, but there was just some unique ones where the fact that I think he's the first goalkeeper in any major tournament, not even just AFCON, World Cup as well, to ever save 4 penalties in a shootout. I think that's a crazy statistic. There were a couple other ones. I don't have them. Want to get them out for you. Yeah, I mean, look, the stats in terms of penalties, Ronnie's not necessarily in world football, but in African football, one of the best shot stoppers and penalty stoppers in the world. It's a really crazy feat that he has. He's got a knack of picking the right way. And a lot of the guys like Jordan Pickford and they need to write the names on water bottles, which direction the guys are going. Ronnie reads your body language, and he's a great footballer, and he often just reads where guys are going to go, and he's got a knack for saving a lot of penalties.
Mikey, can you compare Ronwen with Itu in his prime? Itu saved a lot of penalties as well. I think it was like when it comes to penalties, everybody knew, that hey, it's difficult to actually score against this guy. I know Ronwen is, he's coming up, he's doing very well, just credit with that. But I have this thing that, what, I think Itu did it first. The thing that he did it first, and obviously stumbling blocks along his career and stuff. And I think Ronwen just was there to take the baiting, and he's just improved and excelled. Like you're saying,
yeah. The one thing I'll push back on that, Cheese, is that Khune saved a lot of one-off penalties or whatever, but Ronnie in penalty shootouts, he won like big match temperament, big games. He's gotten teams over the line in big tournaments. I mean, I remember one Telkom run where we went to penalties 3 times and we won the penalty shootout 3 times, and he saved multiple penalties in those runs. Like he single-handedly won.
Sorry, question, Mike. You still saying but you agreeing with Cheese? You put in Itu overall above Ronwen
right now. If we have to ask for my answer right now, I say Khune is number 1 career-wise, but give Ronnie 2-3 more years, and then we can have a different conversation.
Okay, I think that's quite diplomatic. Quick question: give me one word that you'd use to describe Ronwen?
Professional.
Good. Darren, before I ask you, and I mean you're the goalkeeper, so it's going to be interesting that how you're going to manage yourself because you've played in the same squad with both, I'm sure. But the one thing I want to throw on the table, there's no discussion. Itu was one of the best goalkeepers South Africa's ever produced, and I mean a leader. So I've got nothing but incredible admiration. But if you look at this AFCON, I think obviously huge accolades to Hugo Bruce for transforming that team. But I think to a certain extent, that team just the mere presence of how he organized the team, how he captained the team, how he managed the team, crucial saves. I think the confidence in that team came from Williams. And here we took a team into third position, and third position. We won a medal, and I think that's something that Khune never did. We had a more talented side when Khune was there, and that's not a negative about Khune. I think that's an incredible positive about Ronwen, because I think if he wasn't in goals, we would not have been in that position. And it's not necessarily because he's a better goalkeeper than all the other goalkeepers around, but there's something about him that showed incredible quiet leadership that's went right through that whole team. But sorry, okay, Darren, you're the goalkeeper.
No, I mean, just on your point that you made, the last point, like obviously just being around Ronwen, he's just a very nice person to be around also. So he's one of those guys that can get a team together, that can pull a team together. You know, that's one of his pluses of his personalities. But in terms of the keepers, I mean, I have to agree with all of you on the Khune as being one of the best or the best in South Africa. The way he played, the way he performed in his prime, obviously was second to none. We always judged him based on his performances, based on the matches he was able to win, and then also obviously there's a distribution factor that always came into play, which would help any team and any attacking team love. The amount of trophies he won with Kaizer Chiefs, unfortunately, he wasn't able to win anything with Bafana, but he still played amazing games for Bafana. He had amazing performances, but the downfall was, like you said, they never won anything when he was the number one, when he played. But in terms of performance, in terms of how he was in his prime, his capabilities, his big match temperament that he had playing for Bafana and for Chiefs, the awards he's won with Kaizer Chiefs, personal and as a team, I think that puts him above Ronwen Williams at the moment. Ron's, on the other hand, he's just a gentleman of the game, in my opinion. He's always been a good player, a good goalkeeper, and to see where he's come now, in what people call the later stage of your career, I think he's actually in his prime. Yeah, I mean, at 32 years old, at 33 years old, I was called old when I was 30, and I'm 35 now. I'm still playing, and people don't understand. People don't understand how keepers are, how keepers work. Ronwen's just been amazing in the last few years. Obviously, since he joined Sundowns, it does help to have a team like Sundowns around you, but he's been able to step up his performances and he's carried that through to the national team. So he's starting to win more trophies now with Sundowns. He's won a few with SuperSport when no one expected him to win. And let's hope he's going to win a couple with Bafana also. I hope maybe somewhere along the line in the near future we will be able to get that AFCON that we've been waiting for, and hopefully a place at the World Cup. The good thing for Ronwen is he's got a long time ahead of him, in my opinion. Like I said, he's only 32 now. He can play till he's 38, till he's 40, like Michael says, if he really wants to. It's up to him. It's how we look after ourselves as goalkeepers. And I think it's just a pity that Itu is where he is, that it ended the way it did with Chiefs at the moment. I would have loved to still seen him play. I mean, 37 is not that old. Neuer was 38 playing at Euros, and he's still playing at Bayern Munich at the moment. Half the keepers at Euros were well into their 30s, into the latest side of their 30s. So, like I said, Ronwen's got a long way to go, and I'm hoping to see a lot more out of him. And I must agree with Michael that, let's have this discussion again in a few years' time and see where we stand there, because Ronwen's still got a lot of time ahead of him to achieve even more than what he's already achieved now.
Yeah, agreed.
No, but Mamela, Peter, before, I want to give this guy, Darren, his flowers right now. Darren, Ronwen, Itu, you played a big role. I know that behind the scenes. A lot of people don't know that. As much as you didn't get that opportunity, they got that opportunity, but they've learned a lot from you, and I'm just giving you flowers now.
I thank you, appreciate it. But that's football. Yeah. Football happens like that. And like I said, I never close the door on anything. Every time when they announce the national team, I'll check there. Okay, I'm not there. It's fine, no problem. I'll keep performing, keep pulling away, and we see where we end up at the next camp. You never know. Look,
that's how we pay guests on this show. Eh? We pay them with compliments.
Thank you. Is that what it is? So I mustn't check the bank account.
She's just taking your share. First of all, with regards to Ronwen and Khune, there's absolutely no doubt. Two top keepers who've done the country proud. Khune, I agree with you, Darren. We should still see him in the game. He should still be playing. He can get himself fit enough if he's not fit because his talent is there. He's been a great ambassador for our football. So is Ronwen. The only tragedy is we did something that they didn't do, and I think they should have, is played overseas. Would have taken their game to another level as well, but that's how it goes.
Indeed.
But both goalkeepers could have been international class goalkeepers as well. When I say international class, playing in leagues overseas. Let's do a quick fire. Let's go through each one of you. Mike and Cheese, just give me one answer. Who's better? And Darren, you can take it a little bit further. Who is the best at crosses? Cheese. Who's the best at crosses between the two?
Ronwen.
One answer.
I'll go with Ronwen.
Ronwen.
Goodness me. I thought Itu was.
Me.
Yeah.
By the way.
But to be fair, my opinion, I like Ronwen's handling. I think for crosses he's got better handling. But I think in terms of bravery, Itu comes out with more bravery. He's more willing to go for a ball that looks unreachable, and he ends up getting on the end of it. So sometimes that's what your team wants. They want you to just come flying and get that ball. So I think when Itu was doing it his way, I think he was better than Ronwen coming out for crosses.
That's what I said Itu as well, because he wasn't afraid to come for them. And as a striker, you don't like when keepers are flying out with their fists and knees all over the place. Coming at people's feet. Coming down a feet, which takes bravery. Let's go. Cheese, who is better?
Itu. I'll go with Itu.
Mike?
Itu.
Darren?
Itu, definitely. Again, because of his bravery. Also, his technical ability to spread his body and make himself big in front of the striker's feet.
Yeah, I agree. A shot stopping. Cheese. You can say
that Itu man, they've always given him from long range. I'll go with Ronwen.
Mike?
Ronwen.
Yeah, Ronwen also. He's been more steady on his line, so Ronwen.
Okay, I thought they're both superb. Style. A lot of people don't like this particular one, but I love players and goalkeepers that just look as if they come out of a textbook of coaching. Who looked, and this is going to be more your Darren, but let's go, Cheese. Who looked the part? Style-wise.
I'll go with Itu. I'll go with Itu because the boy is always at.
Mike?
I like the calmness of Ronnie, the very calm personality in goal. So I'll say Ronwen.
Yeah. Darren?
Yeah, Itu's always very loud. He's very vocal. He's all in your face. He loves to show that he's there. But for this one, I have to go with Ronwen because, again, his calmness. It's good to know I think a defender, when you look over your shoulder, you've got Mr. Cool over there to back you up. And I think that's why I go with Ronwen.
Two different characters. So obviously, organization and the back four communication. You guys have played with, so you should know this better than anybody else. I can't comment on this one. Cheese?
I played with Itu, so I'll go with Itu. I've never really been with Ronwen and hear him communicate and stuff, but I'll go with Itu because I know he's very vocal in terms of organizing his defense. Yeah.
Mike?
Yeah, I'd have to do the same thing as Cheese, and I'd only experience Ronwen's communication, so I have to go in Ronwen's corner there.
Okay, Darren, you've
yes, you put me on the spot here now.
Decider.
You can say.
I do like both of them. Because, again, with him being vocal, he's one of those personalities you don't want to let down because you know he's going to come at you. So you're always listening. He's always organizing his defense as best as he can. He's hitting you one of these, and then you better switch on. You better get ready. And all the keepers in South Africa do this now. In terms of that type of presence, it's nice to know you've got that. But again, Ronwen with his calm, cool organization, you don't really hear him that much, but you know what he demands of you. You know what's expected of you, and when he needs to have a go, he's ready to have a go. So it is difficult, but I'm leaning towards Itu for this one.
Then last one, distribution. Cheese.
Mamela. Even I heard these overseas goalkeepers trying this. Itu's favorite what. I saw all the keepers. I saw the juniors. I saw kids at school. It became a trend, So I'll go with Itu on distribution. But I know Ronwen is getting there and getting better, and he's learned from Itu. So I'll go with Itu because he started this whole thing.
Mike?
Yeah, we can't deny that Khune was the trendsetter. I think Rowan Fernandez was the first one to really bring the sidewinder, but Khune perfected it. So I'll give it to Khune.
Okay, Darren.
See, this is what gets me. Is you guys think distribution's all about the side volleys? What about the passing, the passes off the floor, the low drives, the grass cutters into the feet? I think that makes.
We like the sexy 40-meter drives, pops.
Eh?
We like the sexy 40-meter sidewinders, man.
You like those? Well,
yeah.
If you're looking at that, obviously it's Itu. I'd go with Itu too. I mean, like you said, he perfected it. But for me, when it comes to distribution, I think Ronwen off the ground is a step above what Itu was able to do off the ground. But off the sidewinders, the side volleys, Itu definitely takes him there.
Guys, we're going to take a quick ad break and we'll be back to you shortly.
To all our believers,
to the gunners of Kopona,
to our drivers at Stoker's Arms,
to the believers at the Brazen Head, to Langa,
to Kwamashu, I'm back.
We hear you.
Now hear us.
Siabonga.
Thank you.
Betway, the official global betting partner of Arsenal.
All right, welcome back, guys. And I'm back here with Darren and Mike and Cheese. We're going to end the show with a quick fire, rapid fire, which we've done before, and we'll have it as a regular feature. But also don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow us on our social media platforms and comment. We will answer all your comments, I promise you. And we're going to do a poll on this on all our social media platforms. So who do you think is the better goalkeeper? Do you agree with the team? Or who do you think between Ronwen Williams and Itumeleng Khune? So please, let us, and we'll give the poll results when they come out. Right, Darren, you know how this goes. We're going to name the keeper and last man standing. Let's go. It's Calvin Marlin versus Emil Baron.
Oh, Calvin Marlin. It's my hero.
Calvin Marlin versus Manib Joseph.
Calvin Marlin.
Calvin Marlin versus Senzo Mayeni.
Who?
Senzo Mayua.
Mayua, sorry.
Hey. Senzo.
Senzo versus Darren Keet. I don't know if you heard
me.
Darren Keet versus Rowan Fernandez.
Me.
Darren Keet versus Andre Arendse.
Yo, I have to let myself go there. Andre Arendse.
Andre Arendse versus Brian Beloy.
Andre Arendse.
Andre Arendse versus Dennis Onyango.
Andre Arendse.
Andre Arendse versus Kennedy Mueni.
Andre Arendse.
Andre Arendse versus Hans Funk.
Oh. Andre Arendse.
Andre Arendse versus Ronwen.
That's a tough one. Andre Arendse.
Andre Arendse versus Khune.
Yes, Andre Arendse.
Wow. Okay. That's it. Darren Keet says Andre Arendse. He's not still your coach, by the way, is he?
No, not at all. Listen, I played against Andre Arendse. I was 19 or 20 years old. Andre was at Supersport United, and he used to have this smooth drop kick I've never seen before. The ball lifted this high off the ground. He used to drop kick that thing straight through everyone. It was something unbelievable that I've never seen.
Yeah.
His technical abilities was just next level.
And he was also not a bad outfield player, if I remember. He was in the we won the AFCON with him, and was in the World Cup as well. Well, guys, thanks very much. Fantastic show. Guys out there, viewers, please answer the poll. Let us know who you feel is better. Thanks, Cheese. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Darren. Chat again soon. We'll get you on next week as well, Darren. Next
Cheers. No, cool. No problem. Anytime.
Cheers, man. Bye.
Cheers.
SoccerBeat, ouça!